Hey athletes, I'm Adam.
And I'm Lindsey, and this is Burpee
Burpee
Nation.
Nation. Oh. Should we do it again?
No, good enough.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Burpee Nation podcast. CrossFit, OCR, running, we talk about all of it. And we are back from a little bit of a vacation. We didn't do an episode last week because we were down in sunny Florida. So
soaking up the sun.
Yeah. But we do have a few episodes already planned for the next couple weeks, so we should still be getting back to at least like one a week. So make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and go to our Facebook page, Instagram page, all that fun stuff. Before we get into the episode, if you're listening to us, you probably already know what it's about. We're going to talk about your first OCR race. If you've already run an OCR race, maybe you'll learn something new. But if you haven't and you're looking to do your first one, we're going to help you out.
Yeah, I feel like when we were talking about, what to talk about, I was like, wait, before we get into deep with our episodes, I feel like we should kind of backtrack and talk about the stuff that you kind of helped me with.
Yeah, and we have friends and family who listen or who have listened to some episodes and have never run one. And, we always have people, I feel like and I think this is the same throughout the OCR community, we're always trying to get people to, do a race with you.
I know.
We're like, yo, come do a Spartan with us or come do a Savage with us, whatever.
Right.
Come try one. So, when you're getting those people to do it, just point them this way.
Yeah.
And be like, here's what to expect.
Yeah.
Here's how to prepare.
I feel like when I first started, I was, intimidated by the pictures that, are posted after makes it look more, intense and serious than it is. You can make your race whatever you want. So,
yeah.
If you want to be competitive, great. If you want to, frolic through the fields, that's also great.
Get muddy.
Right.
Get dirty, get wet, whatever.
Right.
That's what we're going to talk about today. Before we get too far into it, I do want to mention we will be talking to Corinna Coffin later this week. So she's going to be probably our next episode. Look for that next week, right after Memorial Day. We're also going to do a Murph episode because it's Memorial Day.
Right. And we're going to do it once, maybe twice at two different CrossFit gyms,
places, yeah. This is your first Murph.
Yep.
You've done a half Murph.
Yep.
At CrossFit class, but this is your first Murph. This is I've only done one, and that was without a weight vest, so this will be my first time with a weight vest. So we'll talk about that.
Lots to talk about with that.
And then we will have next month, we're going to have David Magida on. Mm-hmm. He's got some events coming up in June, so we're going to talk to him kind of in between events. So we got that coming up as well. So lots to come, I guess, in the near future. So, but let's start with where to start.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because when we did we already talked about the Savage race, but when we were running in the open heat with the GoPro to make our YouTube video, there was a lot that I remember taking notes mentally, seeing people that were doing open, whether it was their first race or not, but again with them wearing sneakers or something like that. So I just feel like it is something to touch upon that. Yeah. I'm sure we have listeners that are very competitive, but I don't know. I think it's important to touch upon it.
Yeah, everybody's starting somewhere different.
Yeah.
So, what if you're, you've seen people who race, or your friend told you to listen to this episode because, they're like, come do a race with me and listen to this episode to get started. So what if you don't know what race to pick? Because there's a lot out there.
There is.
There's multiple types of Savages. There's multiple types of Spartans, Mudders, other local races.
Yeah, lots of local races apparently.
So where would you suggest starting?
I would say the Tough Mudder 5K, because it's, again, only a 5K. And it's very... it's a friendly community.
It's a good place to start if you're not competitive. Like if you're just trying to get your feet wet, see if you like it.
Right. Do some obstacles that aren't difficult and obstacles that people are going to be helping you with, like all over every single obstacle. Like I don't, even if you go out and do it by yourself, like you are going to meet people and you're going to like fall in with a group and everyone's helping you over everything.
Yeah. Another place to start could be a local race. There's a lot of local races out there. They're a little bit easier. They tend to be a little bit easier. Some of them are harder.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the ones that Erica's done up in Rhode Island that we've talked about. Those look pretty difficult.
Well, yeah, but even like, Empowered, which we talked about, like they had some difficult things going on too. So,
but that's like a good way to kind of dip your feet in the pond, as they say, literally and figuratively, probably.
Oh, pond or swamp,
wherever.
Jeez.
But yeah, and I would say start with a shorter distance, like you said, the Tough Mudder 5K.
Unless you're like a runner.
Yeah, to a point. I mean, if you're a trail runner.
Yeah.
Because like you're like before you did Spartans and stuff.
Right, like I had marathons under my belt, so doing that 10-mile run is not a big deal.
No, true, but trails are a lot different than...
They are, but when you research the place and you're like, oh, I'm running on farmland the entire time.
Correct. So,
we'll get into that.
That'll take us right into it. But
yeah,
picking a race, basically, if you're like, okay, Spartan's going to be near me or Savage is going to be near me, but I don't know which distance to do, I would try the shorter distance first. So Savage has the Blitz, Tough Mudder has the 5K, Spartan has the Sprint. Spartan sprints, the obstacles are usually the easier ones, and they're pretty consistent with that. Supers and Beasts, you kind of get into the tougher stuff. Same with Savage. They tend to take out some of the more difficult obstacles for the Blitz. Although the one we were at, the Blitz had the rig and all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's
gauntlet at the end.
Maybe they're changing that a little bit. But yes, research. So once you pick a race, do your research. What do we mean by that, Lindsay?
Everything. The time of year that you're racing, so like what the weather's going to be, the elevation, that's huge.
If there will be dogs there.
Aww.
People bring their dogs to races. That's one of the best parts,
I know.
I think.
They're so cute.
I know. But yes, so like location is a huge one. You need to know, the first one I ever did, we can talk about our experiences. The first Spartan I ever did, was at Palmerton in July. So Palmerton, if you don't know, is a ski place, Blue Mountain Ski Resort. And they take you up like one of the Black Diamonds or some other steep hill to get up to the top. And it's literally a mile to the top.
That's not, when you say literally, like that's not an exaggeration. Like your watch goes off at a mile when you're at the top.
Yeah, that's why I said literally.
Okay.
That's what literally, I know people misuse the word.
I say literally all the time and I'm exaggerating by like.
By people, I mean you. But yes,
it literally took me 4 days to get there. No, it didn't. It took you 9 minutes.
A lot of people misuse the word literally. I mean it in the correct way. In case you're a grammar person out there.
Sorry.
My head literally fell off. Obviously it didn't literally fall off. So.
Except that one time.
Right. That was awkward for everybody. But July, like I said, weather is a big one.
Hot as balls.
Yeah.
And it wasn't shady.
And guess what? Like the morning heats sell out quick.
Yeah.
Get a morning heat if you can. Yeah. Because you're out there in the afternoon in July, which I think we have to do the Super this year in the afternoon.
It's going to be fucking rough.
So hopefully it's a cloudy day. And there's a cold front.
Speaking of which, remember 2 years ago when it was canceled because of the thunderstorms?
The sprint was, yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I know. Off topic, though.
Sorry.
But elevation, your first Spartan was...
DC?
Yeah, DC, which is at
flat.
Maryland International Speedway, very flat. It was also hot that day.
It was hot, but again, it was flat.
But
like half of it was in the woods, so it was shaded and...
Right, but nice. So one of our first Tough Mudders, if not our first, was in PA, and that's like on farmland, so you kind of have rolling hills, but no shade.
But it rained that day.
That day. Correct. So
stop pointing at me.
Check the weather, but But I'm saying if it was hot that day, it was a May race. If it was a July race, there's no shade, you're probably going to be burning up. So check that out. Obstacles. Do some research and find out what obstacles are going to be there. Speaking of doing research and finding out what obstacles will be there, follow our YouTube page.
Oh.
Jeez.
Well, you're like giving me side eye like I'm supposed to know what you're talking about.
Well, because you're the one who suggested this.
You're right.
I said that was a good idea.
Sorry.
So I'm like, oh, maybe she'll get the hint.
I was thinking about
She didn't get the hint.
my ice cream here.
Right. We're going to make this episode quick so Lindsey can eat her ice cream. But go on YouTube. So if subscribe to our YouTube page first. Start there. But we only have one obstacle video up right now, so
right, we're newbies.
Might not be the best place to start. But if you're doing a Savage race, we did do Savage Maryland. We're going to continue to do them at every race we do this year. We're already signed up for Spartan Tri-State coming up in June. Palmerton Super and Sprint.
Yep.
Citizens Bank Park.
Yep.
And which is a stadium, which we didn't talk about. But that's if you're near a stadium and they come up, I would try that. Those are very good beginner races.
And it's good if you're a gym rat. Sorry to use that term, but it's very different obstacles than the regular one.
There's monkey bars and a rig, which is usually rings and a couple baseballs. But other than that, it's very exercise heavy.
Yeah, slam ball, air bikes,
I think they usually have a Z wall, so there's only a handful of the grip obstacles. But so that and Fenway. So those 5 races at a minimum we will be having on our YouTube page. So follow our YouTube page. But if you don't see it on ours, just go on YouTube, hit the search button, search. I actually used to always do this just for any race because it actually gives you a good preview of the terrain too.
Yeah.
What you're going to be running on, what it looks like. When you look a place up, if you've never been there,
well,
you don't know what to you build it up in your head to look like something, and then you get there and you're like, oh, this is not what I thought. So go on YouTube, look up obstacle videos. They're very helpful, especially for beginners. And Spartan's a little easier because they name the obstacle what it is. Other races like Savage and I think Mutter too, they come up with catchy names for them. So you're like, oh, what's Thor's Grundle? That's an actual obstacle name. No, so I have found myself many times Googling Savage Race, Arctic Enemas Mutter. What's theirs? Shriveled Richard.
Yeah.
Which is a very cold tub, basically, which I think they're bringing those back.
Bring it.
Now that COVID stuff is kind of easing restrictions, I guess. So yeah, do your research on that kind of stuff. I guess next would be how to prepare, right?
Yeah.
Before you even get to the race, the weeks leading up to the race, where's a good place to start? I guess it depends on your level of fitness, right?
Right. I mean, it's very, for me, I remember when I finished, because I was, just running and then did, a few workouts during the week. Nothing, crazy. Wasn't throwing weights around.
Yeah.
But I remember, my forearms, my grip was just shot. I did no grip work, so I feel like that was a big thing for me because I was in shape, I was running, a bunch of...
Yeah, and that was even a Spartan.
Right.
Which aren't, super grip heavy.
Right.
And that's what I mean by that. If you're doing a Savage, it's even worse.
But I think it's more grip heavy when you're a starter because you're trying these obstacles multiple times.
For the first time.
Correct.
Probably.
Yeah.
In most cases.
But Twister and the monkey bars, because they're so far apart, I've dropped on those, and then I'm like, I need to try it again. I have to try it again. So I think
you're
that's
I want to get there. I'm so close.
Yeah, and you never know, with the bucket carry, I don't think we had buckets at that time.
Not at that point, no. And that's when you had to carry it in front of you, too.
Yes, but that was one where, again, it kills your forearms, and you never know how long it's going to be. So, you can practice with a bucket as much as you want, but when you're actually in a race and it's so long to carry the bucket that, I think everything just shot my forearms.
Not as long as that log carry for Savage Maryland.
So ridiculous.
But that part of that goes back to research too. Sure, you want to make sure you're actually exercising and stuff leading up to it, but look up tips on rope climb, monkey bars,
Yep.
all of that. There's plenty of videos out there.
Yep. And everyone does, like everyone does monkey bars different. Like some people do like with their hands over under.
Yeah, I do
sideways
90
going
degrees,
across.
2 hands.
Yeah.
Moving one at a time. I've seen people swing. You
Right.
do straight arm, 2
Yep.
hands at a time.
Yep.
Rings, same thing. I've seen that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, I double hand. You do single or like
you're
90
gonna
degrees.
single hand this year though.
Relax.
Just saying.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then rope. There are like several different ways to get up a rope.
Yeah. Which I still like am stupid when it comes to the rope climb. Like that's something I really actually do need to work on is
Not just the rope climb.
J-hook J-hook, S-hook, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Because I remember my very first race, like luckily, like I was very experienced with like pull-ups and stuff, but not experienced with rope climb. So I just pulled myself up with my arms, and then I had to figure out how to get down, which was a little tougher. But yeah, so like I would say if you're doing an open heat, it kind of depends on like the venue, but say you're doing Palmerton or Tri-State or another course where you know there's going to be mountains, find a place to go hiking that's got some ascent and elevation to it and just like go hike for a couple hours. Because honestly,
Yeah.
in an open heat in a lot of these races, that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be hiking for a couple hours with obstacles in between. So
Yeah, like I'm such a road runner. Like everywhere I run is like on the road or on a
got them
like at
cushy
the
feet.
worst is like a gravel path. Like let's relax. So yeah, no, like I went into this thinking like this is great. I'm gonna be able to run. I'm a good runner. And no,
Like, oh, a stick.
no, yeah, shut up. No, they like there's not even paths in these races.
No,
like, they
a lot of
literally
them
just,
they just take you through the
trek
woods.
you through the woods.
Yeah.
So you're
They're like, that bushel of trees looks good. Let's go
Yeah.
through that.
right or fucking swamps and
Right.
yeah.
There's a puddle.
There's some
Go that way.
skunk cabbage over there. Let's just
Skunk cabbage.
through there. Oh, these trees are broken over there. Let's make them jump over that shit.
Right. That tree fell down the other day. Let's make them climb it.
Let's change the path.
Right. Yeah, so that's definitely something to do. Get used to being on your feet. Get used to bushwhacking, I guess.
Don't bring a machete.
Oh my god, like I mean we talked about it on the Savage Maryland episode, but that one and a lot of other races that we've been to, especially in the open heats, mud and like thick shit up to your knees in those open heats that you're like
You know what's the fucking worst
it's hard
too?
to walk through.
When you're like, oh my god. Like you're kind of like zoning out a little bit because you're like, oh my god, I can actually start to run right here. And the people in front of you,
Start walking?
no.
Oh.
When they like are like fucking trekking through branches and the branch whips you in the
Oh,
face because you
yeah.
like zone out for a second.
Yeah.
You're like, shit. Oh my god.
Or how about like when you're jogging, or if you do jog and then like there are people walking and they hear you coming and then they start running.
Yeah.
You're like, sir or madam, you were walking for 10 minutes. You heard me coming. You're like, I gotta run. Whatever. So I guess our next thing to talk about would be like what to wear / what to bring.
Yeah.
Because there's a photo out there somewhere, probably even on social media if you look through my page, where I'm literally in basketball shorts.
For your first
and,
one.
Right, my first one. Basketball shorts and Zigtex. Do you remember Zigtex?
I don't even know what.
Reebok
kind of
Zigtex.
food
They
that
had
is.
like the zigzag at the bottom.
You own those?
I have those old basketball shoes that were Zigtex that you like so much.
Oh, those are cute.
Anyway, you had trail shoes, right? Because you had me to kind of guide you a little bit, I think.
Yes, and I think I remember the first time being like, thank God
Right.
I have these trail shoes.
There's a lot of people out there in sneakers.
There's a lot of people out there in sneakers who are like just sliding the fuck all over the place.
Yeah.
What?
I would invest, even if you're like, I don't know if I'm going to do this very long. This might be my only one. Blah, 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 blah. Like, you can find a cheap pair on Amazon.
I know that we've said in past episodes, like, invest in trail shoes.
Yeah.
There's a million things you can do for them with them. Like, do it.
I would say that's
not
probably
expensive.
the single most important thing to have if you're going to be doing races.
Right. Because you don't even need to race in clothing. It's just shoes.
Not really, yeah. I mean, you have to have some sort of clothing
No.
to cover things up. They might not
What
let
things?
you in. Just parts. Parts and pieces.
Your bits.
Bits. I honestly, like, I would even go as far as to say, like, go get some... I would say get compression stuff. But if not, get some tighter fitting, dry fit, moisture, like polyester, spandex, whatever that material is. Like, do not wear cotton.
Moisture.
Do not wear cotton.
No. All right, here's what I would recommend as a female. Trail shoes, high socks, like up to your knees, because it helps when you're not getting cinders and dirt in your shoes, in your socks. Tie your shoelaces tight as you fucking can, or your shoes are going to fall off in the mud. Compression shorts and a compression either like sports bra or tank top. And if you Google like OCR running, every single female you see is going to be in this, and there's a reason why they are. Tell you
It's
that
not
much.
just for looks.
Right. Right. The last thing you need is your shit getting caught on barbed wire or dragging through the mud, or when you're soaking wet from the dunk walls or whatever and it's weighing you down.
It adds 10 pounds, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, there's a reason you're going to get 10 minutes into the race and be like...
Same thing with your socks. Don't show up in Champion cotton socks. Or whatever. What was Starter? Do you remember Starter brand?
Yeah, why are you bringing up all these brands?
I'm just saying. I had a Starter jacket.
You would.
Did you not have a Starter jacket?
No.
Wow.
A what?
That says a lot about you.
I don't even know what you're saying.
A Starter jacket.
What is that?
Like your sports team, the big poofy jacket. It was a pullover, and it had the sports team on the front. It was a winter coat.
What?
Wow. Okay. I'm not sure we could do this anymore.
Should we just end the
This
episode
might be our
now?
last episode. How do we get off topic like that?
Where
were we?
What to wear for a female.
Yes.
Male's kind of the same.
For a male, I mean, it depends again on the weather. But yeah, like, you don't need to wear a shirt. It's a little easier for men. Like, you don't need to wear a shirt. But I would get some compression shorts or pants.
And
don't wear basketball shorts like I did my first one, because when they get wet, they just get weighed down.
And that goes for like winter races, cold races too, because obviously, what are we doing in November? Tri-State?
Tri-State, yeah.
And then obviously Greek Peak, like compression.
Winter compression stuff.
Winter compression pants.
Don't feel free to layer up.
Compression, like long sleeves. I wore
cold
a hat.
Gear.
You wore like, and we wore mittens for that too, and just like took them off for obstacles.
Yeah, if you're doing like a Greek Peak,
shove them in your sports bra if you're a girl, but like you're gonna want mittens to run in. You're not gonna be able to like hold yourself up in anything. Like, your hands are gonna be so cold. You need to.
The first year I did Greek Peak, I tried to do like my running gloves, like my normal going out and about for a run on a 40-degree day or 30-degree day gloves. Well, there's snow there, so like as soon as those gloves got wet, they were useless.
Right. And your pictures are all of your hands
sandbag
in
pictures,
your pants.
My sandbag pictures, I had my hands in my pants. Luckily, I had like a long sleeve compression thing on. And I pulled it over my hands. Pulled it over my hands, and that saved my fingertips. I probably would not have fingertips right now if it weren't for that.
The tips.
Okay, so,
what to bring?
Where do you stand on?
No, I'm sitting.
Hydro packs.
I don't like it. If you're gonna do not for a sprint. Relax.
I feel like it's a little elitist of you.
Sorry.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna be walking the whole time and it's gonna be hot, bring one. I don't care how long the distance is.
I mean, yeah, like if this is...
My first one, I did a sprint at Blue, Palmerton, in July, hot as hell, in the afternoon. We walked a lot. I wish I had a hydro pack.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, we brought one for the Super and the Beast because it was hot, and like they had water and stuff out there for you, but...
Not enough.
Like, it's never enough when you're out in the heat all day.
Right. Bring some goos and stuff so you don't get hungry.
Yeah.
Or if you're in West Virginia and don't know what goos are, then...
Oh my God, don't get me started.
Should we give some background on that? That's probably really random. We were in West Virginia for the trifecta weekend, right? I mean, we only did the Beast, but
Yeah.
We went into the local sporting goods store. I forget what it was called.
It was literally called like something sporting goods.
It was basically like it was like a little like West Virginian version of like Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
And we went in and we're like, do you guys have any goos? And they're like, we have BioFreeze. It's like it's the complete opposite of.
I was like, I'm not fucking wasting my time even explaining.
We're like, okay, thanks, have a nice day. Like, we're not even looking.
Right. And then we go into CVS.
And CVS, and like, they had CVS the jelly bean ones.
Shit before. Well, the sporting, what are they, like sports jelly beans or whatever.
Yeah.
But we get to the counter. And the lady's like, what are these? I've never seen anyone buy these before.
So
and we were like...
People in West Virginia do not use fuel for their runs.
And then you got your credit card.
And then my credit card got stolen.
Yep.
That CVS, that lady, she was probably distracting us. For after the race, I would bring a towel, some shampoo and stuff. Because, like, I've had times where... Because you get... I'm not done. No, I'm not done.
No.
Shush, not done. I've had times where, like...
But
I didn't rinse off right away. Shush.
You're not...
I didn't rinse off right away, and...
You're talking about rinsing off when, like, if people... So I didn't know that there was, like, an entire changing area and rinse-off station and stuff like that. So I just want to explain that quick before you talk about your naked stories or whatever.
It wasn't a naked story.
Oh, okay. So, like, background real quick.
Coming in real hot this episode.
Well, I don't even know if they promote that on their shit. I don't really know. They have rinsing stations, like it's hoses, for you to rinse off, and changing areas so you can bring your soap.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Duffel bag.
Yeah.
With your change your clothes.
You're changing in a tent with your same gender.
Right.
But the hoses are like out in the open, so you're like squirting it up your sports bra, down your underwear. People get a little crazy there, but so that was just the back note, because like I didn't know that.
Yeah. Right.
So yes, you'll need your towel, your soap.
But like I've done races where I don't take advantage of that, or I didn't bring like a towel or soap or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'll just like rinse off at home. And
trash
like
bags.
you take absolutely bring trash bags for all your wet clothes and shoes and stuff like that. But I've done it where I'm like, oh, I'll just rinse off when I get home, which is like hours later typically.
Yeah.
And like I've woken up the next day and had like a little bit of like a rash somewhere or something, because because
your skin's so sensitive.
You're in a dunk wall or a pond with bacteria and probably pee. Right. So rinse off. Take advantage.
And you want to be like comfy cozy when you sit down and have your beer and like enjoy your medal and
right. Exactly.
Come find us and take pictures with us.
But yeah, definitely like dry fit stuff, no cotton. But I agree. Like compression is not like sure, I guess it looks cool in pictures, but like it's functional. Like people wear it for a reason.
What are you talking about?
Compression.
Oh yeah.
Did you check out the episode already?
Sorry.
But barbed wire, getting wet, they dry a little bit quicker. Yep. In the heat, if you're wearing a compression shirt or pants, whatever, and it does get wet, it'll keep you cool as well.
Yep.
So that's like another little tip. What to expect before the race? So like leading up to the start line, I guess, right? Like when you get to the race.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
On something to bring, because I know that we've done a few races where we've packed like the gummies or a gel or something, because I feel like when like I feel like I was active when I did a Spartan, but it still took me like 2 hours.
2 hours, right? For a sprint.
You're like, right, it's 3 miles, but like you want to try all the obstacles and you want to try them a few times and you want to finish them or like try different techniques. So
and you're not used to running on like single track trail.
Yeah, like you are going to be out there for a bit. So I would recommend bringing some like.
Yeah. That's how we got into that, and then we got off topic because about the West Virginia thing.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oh yeah, right. Oh my God, sorry guys. Anyway, bring that shit.
Yeah. All of it.
Or you could be like Miller, our friend, who just carried a bag of bacon with him.
Bag of bacon. Why not?
At the top of the mountain. He's like, bacon, anyone?
Who wants bacon? Like, I mean, I guess, yeah, I'll take some.
Sharing is caring.
Right. But yes, leading up to the start line. So when you get to the race, most races will tell you beforehand if you're going to have to take a shuttle. if you do prepare for that.
Those are fucking awful.
I hate shuttles, but like I would definitely get there extra early.
Yeah.
They say like an hour. I feel like if parking's on site, you don't need to be there an hour. I would say like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But if parking's off site and you have to take a shuttle, Google Map like how far the shuttle location is to the venue, because sometimes it's like a 10-15 minute bus ride. So and then you have to wait for a bus. So if there's a shuttle involved, I'd probably get there like an hour and a half before you have to go off, just to make sure. Some places though, like if you don't care about your start time, a lot of times they'll let you go after if you end up being a little late. But when you get there, they'll give you like a little bag typically with like your timer. You'll have a chip timer more times than not, unless it's a mutter because it's not timed.
Right.
You'll
beer
have
band.
a beer band. Yeah, don't lose that. Some places have bibs.
And then your time band as well. Your beer band, your time band.
Your wave time,
your
yes,
wave time.
not timing band.
Right.
Yeah,
and then your
wave.
Actual timing chip.
Timing chip, which
So you have a lot of things to wear.
usually get a friend to help you put the timing chip on. Chiming chip. The timing chip, that's a pain in the ass to put on.
Yeah, it is.
And if you put it on too tight, I didn't know this at first because I've done it where I put it on too tight and then I raced with it too tight because I was like, well, shit, now I put it on too tight. You can go, at least at like most races, you can go to the information booth or a water. I know at Spartan, it's like the water station near the start line.
Mm-hmm.
They will cut it off for you and give you a new yellow thing to put it on. So.
And then you will get your number, which in a Spartan, it's a headband. Savage is a bib, which is awful.
They never stay on.
Mutter? What's that mutter?
There's no number because there's no timing. Yeah.
Right. And then you just, Okay.
So yeah, that's like one of those things where it's most of the time like the number is just to kind of find yourself in pictures.
Yeah.
Because they sort it by bib number and whatever. But is there anything else leading up to the start? I'm trying to think.
So you're going to get all that stuff.
Right.
You're going to walk through like the festival area. But yeah, when it's your time to race, you'll have your own little corral. You will have to like jump over 1 hurdle, 2 hurdles?
Depends on the race.
Yeah.
Spartan's like a little 4-foot wall or something.
Yeah. So you'll have to
Savage,
jump over
you used to. We didn't have to do it this year. Maybe that was like a COVID thing. But remember, you had to go up like a ramp wall or something like that before.
I don't remember.
Yeah, there was something. Okay. Usually, there's some little obstacle at the start line.
I don't remember the start.
Yeah, well, it was a couple years ago.
I know.
Time flies. Anyway, I think that's it, right? For before the race.
Yeah, but I feel like. Yeah, when you get into the corral, like that's the best part. They give you like that pumped up speech.
Here's what I'm gonna say about your beer band.
Yeah. If
you want the beer for after, put it in your bag, put it in your car. Don't put it on your wrist and wear it.
Yes.
Because you'll probably lose it. Like how many times Anthony has dozens of beer bands that he's found on the course. Right. We really do. So like if parking is on site, what we typically do, and I feel like this works really well, is we will park, we will go up, check in, get our little bag with like our bib and our timing chips and all that kind of stuff, and then go back to the car and get ready. Mm-hmm. If it's a shuttle, there's usually a bag check, so like you kind of have to work with it that way. But honestly, like if your car is parked not too far away, which there are some venues that it's not too bad, I would just get there like a good hour early, walk up, take your time, like don't feel rushed or anything, check in, go back to your car, get changed, and then go back when it's time to race.
Yeah.
But after the race, you're going to get a medal probably, a t-shirt, some swag.
Headband if it's tough.
Headband if it's Tough Mudder. Go back to your car, get your beer ticket, and then enjoy, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's it. Did we miss anything? I feel like...
I don't think so.
That's like, we covered the basics. If there's something that you think we missed, like feel free to ask us, and we'll definitely touch upon it.
Yeah, I just want to say something about the festival because they usually have like food, drinks, beer, like barbecue, whatever. But they also have stands set up, and they like will give you free shit.
especially at stadiums.
Oh yeah, chapstick, food, like sunscreen. We got a whole tub of collagen.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Like, go check out the stands. They have good shit.
Yeah, they have like good vendors at races a lot of times. Even some of the smaller ones, I've seen good vendors.
That salmon jerky that I had. Ew, it was good. You had venison jerky.
Yes, that was delicious.
They have good stuff,
and
though.
the turkey. Yeah. But on top of that, you typically get like at least like a banana, granola bar, a water, like at the end.
Yeah.
To kind of rehydrate a little bit. But the one thing I want to say is after the race, if it is your first one, expect to be sore the next day.
Like you got hit by a train sore.
Not even joking.
No.
Like I know after my first one, like I was sore everywhere. I was at the point of sore where like I thought I was sick. Like I thought I had like a fever or something. You know what I mean? You ever been so sore from something that you're like, I can't move.
Yeah. COVID vaccine.
It's like that, right? It's like that
honestly.
Achy sore. It's awful. So, you're probably going to be sore. So don't plan anything like the next day too crazy.
Yeah. But it's a good sore.
It is. It's for sure a good
sore. And then you can be proud of yourself.
And you get less sore each time you do it.
Yep.
Because I remember, was it 2019? I did the super with you in like the afternoon into evening, then ran the sprint the next morning.
Yeah.
And I never got sore that whole weekend.
No.
I think sometimes if you give your body like not enough time in between.
That's how that works.
Like, I mean, some people do trifecta weekends and maybe they just don't feel it till Monday morning. I don't know. I don't know how that works. We haven't done a trifecta weekend yet. We'll have to add that to our list. Maybe in Hawaii if they do that again. That would be fun and expensive. But yeah, so there you go. I mean, that kind of is your intro to OCR and how to get involved in your first race and what you kind of need to know.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be putting up like our YouTube videos of our GoPro during all of our races, so check those out if you're looking for races and checking out obstacles.
Yep, and again, make sure you listen and subscribe and all that good stuff. But next week we have Corinna Coffin and Murph we're going to have coming up, and David Magita's coming up. In June, we're also going to have our race. We're going to recap Tri-State New York.
Yeah.
We're doing the sprint on Sunday. If you are going, feel free to say hi. I think Eric might be doing it. I don't know if he's going to do the podcast with us. We'll see. But yeah, keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. We do have a Facebook page. Just search for Burpee Nation. Follow us on Instagram. You can find that stuff on our website and all that good stuff. So good stuff. So we're gonna get going, but thanks for listening, and as always, hopefully we see you next time.
Bye.